What is good, y'all? We live. Let me unmute you. Unmute Mike.
What's good?
All right, you're good, Raul. Let me see. Add a stream. All right, there we go.
What's
It's a little
good?
awkward, man. I'm gonna have to work on that transition coming in.
We just got to work
Yeah,
on
you
the
get
we
it.
got to work on the intro, the transition coming in, but that intro is still
We love it.
super fire.
I appreciate it, man. So you want to
Fire.
kick it off, Oh?
Oh yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dad Beats, where we discuss the joys and challenges of being music makers with responsibilities. My words are getting all twisted up. First off, we're just gonna get into like some housekeeping and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? If you guys like what we're talking about on the Dad Beats, make sure that you like the video. If you guys are new to any of us, Raul, Lifted Noise, I am Side or me, subscribe to our individual channels. That will be in the link in the description below. Also, Site just launched the second volume of Standalone Soul, and he has merch as you can see right now. Lift the Noise has shirts available. That stuff will be in the links in the description if you guys want to check that out. And honestly, thank you everybody who supports us and everybody who buys or purchases anything that we have, because we wouldn't be able to do this stuff without you guys. So we appreciate you guys' support and everything you guys do for us. So now
Big
that we got that
facts.
out the way,
Great intro, man. Appreciate that, bro. Absolutely, man. So yeah, today we're talking about gear lust. It's kind of like a pervasive topic in the community. So something that we suffer from it, but do we really suffer? It doesn't feel like suffering. It feels great when you get that hit of dopamine when you cop something new.
yeah, like when you get that new gear, man, you feel like refreshed, feel like energized, ready to do some new stuff, conquer the world. You know,
Inspired, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
that may just be what it is. That hit of dopamine. It's a new thing. We're never satisfied. But yeah, I've got a couple new pieces. I think I could really talk on this whole situation here. But
Well, I
for
think
me, it is a matter of uncertainty sometimes because as far as the suffering thing goes, is because it's a question of whether um I can afford this, or should I try to make room for this? You know, is it justified somehow in what I'm doing? I think
Mm-hmm.
site you've talked about this, and I'd like to hear more about how you justify and whether to keep a piece or not. And then, I could probably respond on that.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I mean, we've spoken on it briefly on I think a previous episode. My thing is like, I treat all my gear because music. I took a break from it for about 5 years, and when I came back, I didn't even want to treat it like a business. I just wanted to it was a creative release for me because I was focusing on, photography, graphic design. So I had my own gear lust with that that side of my creative career, and that kind of took over as my career. Like that was, that's paying the bills. Still does. Music was kind of like I was getting back into it because I just missed making music. Like I just wanted to do it for fun. And then when I kind of found a way to like merge the two, merge my full time, which is creating content and marketing, that kind of thing, and then fusing it with my music passion. It was it was kind of like a way that I could justify making upgrades. So, but I had to be conscious about it. So it was like, if I'm gonna start making money with my craft, everything that I buy has to have some type of return on investment. It can't just be this is gonna make me feel good right now, or I would really love to have that piece of gear in here. And I've done it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like I'm immune to making like what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of like spontaneous decisions when it comes to gear, or
Hmm.
there's a word I'm looking for where it's like impulsive, right? Like impulsive
Yeah.
decisions. I do it, or I've done it, but it's like my sense of, I guess you can call it like regret for it happens really fast. Like
Yeah.
last year, I bought a a tube preamp, right? Because I'm thinking like, yeah, I knew I was gonna get into sound design, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna run all this stuff through this tube preamp. I'm gonna get this dope tone on everything and analog. And yo, it was on the box, like under my feet, under my desk, for a month, and I
Wow.
was like,
I don't know. That takes some kind of discipline though, too, because I get something I want to open it right away. Like when I got the
yeah,
Novation circuit, I had like a moment to myself at home, and I thought I might do an unboxing video, but I was gonna wait on that, but I just couldn't wait to open it. You know what I mean? So there was like a
mm-hmm,
lack. There's like a lack of discipline there. So I shot a video real quick, just trying to react to myself opening up the Novation and trying it out, and I was like fumbling around because I didn't know what to do with it. So I think, yeah, for me, in most cases, in some cases, a lot in the past, like it's lack of discipline with that impulse.
mm-hmm.
Just jump on it. And sometimes I'll refrain from that impulse, and then all of a sudden I've clicked I put it since sitting in the cart, and I'm like, nah. And then all of a sudden I'll hit that, and then like, oh shit, I just purchased this now. Now I gotta figure out. Now I gotta justify this. So I am kind of going back and forth with the new pieces that I got. So I got the Novation Circuit Rhythm and the Roland MC 101, and yeah, even
Mm.
just last night. What's up?
I was just saying, I'm getting gas over here just listening to what you just
Just
got.
just listening to me. Yeah, I know. So and it's crazy too because like every year something new comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you might as well wait till it's something you really need. But before we came on, I was talking to you, side. I was asking you about like a business plan and a mission statement, and how a lot of times with like YouTube, if you go to the YouTube channel and you have the channel banner, and it's like a best practice. A lot of YouTubers will have kind of
Mm-hmm.
a quick definition of what their channel's about, and it just kind of hit me just now because I've switched up my profile pic on YouTube and my banner a few times over the last year or so. But it just clicked on me that right now I just have this blank. It's just a yellow, like an orangish yellow banner, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing written on there.
But like your
And
channel has no purpose right now.
no, no, but it's really poetic, and it just clicked with me because I was trying to figure it out as I asked you the question.
Yeah.
It's like I don't necessarily have a mission statement in my kind of like um uncertainty with whether I want to keep this gear, if I can justify it, is because I keep going in my head about like what direction I want to take my YouTube channel. It's never
Mm-hmm.
been necessarily clear. Like on the first Dad Beats podcast, we were talking about how our channel started, and I kind of started doing vlogs and wanting to learn about music business and try to make some money doing this. But that was it. There's not really no clear direction, and then I started doing tutorials, and I'm not sure if I even want to continue with that. Um, I think what I get the most like um, contentment out of is doing those rap videos where I'm writing lyrics and stuff because I can express myself. So I'm
Okay.
kind of in that mind state where I want to just kind of push forward with that, regardless if that's even like the thing that's going to get me the most views. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean it doesn't. People didn't initially subscribe to my channel to watch rap videos or like someone rap or whatever. But it's somewhat related. So I'm kind of like I don't. I can just settle down, return this stuff, and do music with this because I have enough with the MPC,
Right.
and I could build some content around that. Doing some vocal stuff because I've had
Mm-hmm.
some success with that. So that's where I'm at. So
Yeah, you're in that kind of challenging position where you're trying to define what your channel's going to be, and I think it's kind of like, excuse me, it's making a decision whether you want your channel to be more leaning towards artistic and expressing yourself, or if you want it to be more practical and delivering value. And I think you can do both, but I think it's kind of the easier way to deliver value when you're doing tutorials and stuff like that. Like if you're trying to build trust with your audience and things like that, where it's like a relationship, and then you can have offerings for them. The tutorials and stuff are great for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're building a relationship with your community. But then you can also build a relationship with them just by being yourself. You know what I'm saying? It might not appeal to as many people, obviously, because you know I don't want to say it doesn't, because you like a lot of people could just love you as an artist. You know what I mean? Doing your spitting your rhymes and stuff. During your videos, you never know, that might hit more. You know what I mean? At some point. But I think it initially gaining momentum. It's easier when you're creating that content that is like people are looking for. Like they're looking for tutorials. They're looking to learn how to use this. The search, right? Like that's what YouTube is great for. It's the second largest search engine in the world.
Definitely.
So you want to chime in on that? Oh,
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, like what you did, the way that you started the channel is the right way to start it. I mean, you got tremendous growth off of that, but also like you also are tying in like the entities that are you. So what I'm saying, people are gonna mess with that too, because like people, they see you, and then they start to like what I'm saying, they start coming back to the channel because of you and your personality as well. So like the
Sure.
stuff with the music and all that stuff is just another way for them to connect with you as a YouTuber, as a content creator. So
Yeah.
what I'm
Right.
saying,
Valid points.
all that stuff is great. What I'm
and I
saying.
think there's a way to balance it. Like one of the channels that I really love is the homie Marlo Diggs. He started off as MPC head, doing a lot of MPC tutorials, and then he transitioned into more just kind of doing his thing on the MPC, more kind of creative vision for the videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, shooting just really dope visual content. Making beats the way he likes to make them, and then some of his videos turned into answering questions in his comments. So I think that's kind of the hack, right? Like instead of trying to get ahead of the algorithm and trying to guess what people want to know, I think doing your thing, doing your thing creatively, artistically, staying true to your artistic vision for your channel and for yourself, and then looking at the comments and the feedback, and then drop a couple videos addressing that, because I think it's just important to keep that conversational tone with your audience, on this platform. I think it's really great for that. And it's not like you have to cater to it, but I think just making sure you give some attention to it, like every 4 videos, every, 3 or 4 videos, answering some questions will probably go a long way.
And see, this is a thing too. It's like, things are never gonna stay the same. So like your channel's not gonna always, it's gonna evolve, it's gonna become something different. It's the same way with your gear. You buy gear, you switch gear out, something comes out that works better for you, you get that. What I'm saying? You replace new things. So it's a ever changing system, what I'm saying, and it's all catered to you though. Because like at the end of the day, it's like, you're being genuine to who you are, and what I'm saying, this is all our passions. Like this is what we love to do. So like everything that we're doing is like we're kind of catering to ourselves and doing the stuff that we want to do, but our audience is resonating with that, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're learning too, because we're showing them tutorials, and we're showing, like, even if you're making a beat, they're still seeing you like in a creative space, how you work. You might rub off on people that way too. Like, they might not even know what you're doing, but they're like, oh, he started with his drums first, or he started with, what I'm saying? Like, so they're still like, learning.
Yeah.
Oh, Raul, they're saying bring your mic up a little bit if you
Okay.
can.
Yeah, I just keep turning it down a little bit because there's some background noise. I'm just trying to keep out. But yeah, I wanted to say, yeah, there's some uncertainty with me with this, and I'm okay with saying that. Not too proud or anything to say that. But I also like don't want to fall into like the kind of social media trap that just kind of plagues everyone in general. Because I think it kind of runs in parallel with the gas thing, because like you said, it's a dopamine fix. Um, like when I'm putting out videos, sometimes it's like more, 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 more. That's the cure. More, more.
Yeah.
So I wonder, I contemplate whether, if I were to focus on what I think is most fulfilling for me, and that's like expressing myself through word and stuff on the music and all that, if that even in like a smaller quantity would be more fulfilling for me, and I could continue this. Like I even consider like just stop pursuing like even trying to make any money, just make my music, and kind of get that out of my head and just let that follow if it does. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Like, this is a hot take from me, like, and how I perceive things. What I don't think people have noticed, a lot of people have noticed, is that Gearless channels are some of the best performing channels on YouTube.
right.
Like, there's guys that I've unsubscribed to because I subscribe to their channel because I like their process, or them as an artist. And then it's literally turned into every video is a new piece of gear that a company has sent them.
Yeah.
And I don't knock nobody's hustle as a business move. That's really the smart thing to do. Like, you know, if I really wanted to cash in on my channel, I would be accepting all these offers that companies are sending me. Like, they offer to send gear and stuff and, you know, review it. And yo, not for nothing, like the channel just turns into like a commercial every video. Yo, you'll see it. Like, their thumbnail is a piece of gear. Like, I'm guilty of it with the MPC because I'm just that passionate about the MPC. But you'll see guys where it's like guitar pedal, this guitar pedal this day, you know, 3 days later, look at this new mixer, you know, to the point where guys have like 10 mixers, 15 microphones, 8 pairs of monitors behind them. It's like, bro, listen, like, again, I don't knock nobody's hustle, but I can't, that's just not me. Like, I can't make my channel like a gear, only gear junkie channel. And I know, you know, Gearless can be kind of destructive. Like, from a business perspective, if I bought everything I had like, you know, kind of like an inclination to buy, yo, I'd be broke. My business would be struggling. If I didn't return certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to think about, you know, how much worse my business would be doing, you know what I'm saying? Because the stuff that I was buying was just not, it wasn't producing, you know what I'm saying? And we're producers. Like, at the end of the day, and all of us aren't that, right? Some of us are fine just kind of being creative musicians, beat makers. But I'm talking about on a producer level, you have to come up with a product. That's what literally in the name. Like, you have to deliver a product, whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's, you know, a piece of music you drop on Spotify, whether it's a sound pack, you know what I'm saying, which is the direction I've been taking. You have to produce, there has to be a product at the end of the process, right? So it's like, if you're buying gear with no end in mind for creating something for consumption, then at that point you're just doing it on an artistic level, and that's fine. But I can't get myself, the artistic part I can understand, and I think is kind of noble in certain ways. But when somebody's just kind of collecting gear, you know, that, and when it's being sent to them, yo, it just comes off very disingenuous to me. Like, not any gear being sent to you, because companies will offer, and there's certain stuff like, yeah, I'll take that. That's dope. Like, it's something you're genuinely interested in. But when somebody's literally just accepting, you know, 30, 40, 50 pieces of gear a year and just throwing it on their channel, and then when you really look at what they really use, like, they really don't use most of that stuff. They stick to like 3 or 4 pieces. That kind of bothers me. You know, it wasn't always like that. It's just been like that the last year. Those kind of channels have really been wearing on me, bro. Like, I can't even stand to look at them.
For real. Well, I mean, and getting back to what you saying, like, Raul too, is like you gotta do what feels comfortable, what feels comfortable for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, your passions, whatever, like, this is your channel. You're the brand. So you gotta like do that stuff for yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, everybody has their different approach to it, because like, originally I like wanted to be a tech YouTuber. I'm so into tech and, like, you know, different things like that. Like, my channel, I wanted to start as a tech channel, but like, I've been doing music for so long, I'm like, I might as well just do the music. So I do show, like, you know, gear reviews, but like, everything is tailored to my studio and it works for me in a certain way. So like, when I do unboxings and stuff and I show gear, like, on my channel, it's gear that I'm actually using. Like, I'm not getting, you know what I'm saying? Sure. I'm not saying that I wouldn't get like something from a company and try it out. But if it's something like that, it's like, I'm gonna get my honest opinion on it, and every video is not gonna be like that, because I want to transition into more stuff too. You know, I want to show people how to like record, you know what I'm saying, in Pro Tools or Logic Pro, you know what I'm saying, like, because I do all that stuff too, you know. So like, it's not just like MPC videos for me, you know, down the line. But the thing is, it's like, you do what kind of works first, but then you start to tailor it to your personality and what you like, your vision for the channel. Because it starts off as a seed, but that seed grows into such a big tree. You know,
Yeah.
you got all these different branches. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and we're talking about it from like a YouTuber's perspective.
Yeah,
And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing all three of us have in common, that at the end of the day, like if we buy a piece of gear, we can make a piece of content with it that might get us some type of return on investment, right? But let's talk about,
right.
the guys in the chat and the guys in the community who don't have a YouTube channel, who either are not active on it yet, or
Yeah,
it's still kind of building, or maybe just don't really want to be active on YouTube and just or who are just buying gear almost as a way to improve their creativity. Like,
Yeah, we can talk
I
about
think that's a challenge, bro, because I honestly think, and this is something that I've experienced, is certain gear, when I have too much gear,
it.
I actually shut down creatively. It's like I struggle, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, do I use this? Do I start with this? Do I start with this? And
Yeah,
I've found by minimizing, it's really given me a lot more inspiration. Like,
yeah,
what do y'all think
okay.
about
and
that?
yeah.
Well, that's.
Uh,
I'm
go
sorry. I was gonna say because that was like I was gonna say let's get right into this because this is actually one of our talking points. It's like how gas can be bad. Like let's talk about ways that it can be bad for people. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
well,
So
I could speak on what Sight was saying because he said you feel almost what was the word you used? Like stifled, I guess is it was a word. Like
Yeah, it's
creatively.
like a mixture for me. It's like
Yeah.
a mixture of guilt and like stifled
Yeah.
creatively.
It's like, yeah, because I'm already feeling that with having the second sampler over here, because I'm like, where am I gonna put it? Like I already moved the room around to make space for it, but I'm like, where do I start with this? But on the other side of that, I feel like sometimes I'll use the new gear, yeah, like you said, as if it's gonna help me become more creative. Like I might be in a beat block and I'm looking at my MPC and I'm like, I'm just tired of looking at it. There's no creativity coming out. I'm not feeling creative. So I start
yeah,
like, looking at new gear, maybe improve the workflow somehow. That's gonna make, the creativity flow somehow. But I think it's just an excuse and um that's why I've done those gas videos in the past because I feel like uh a lot of it is just it's mental, like you can hack that. And so not to get into this too much so you guys can kind of talk on that, but like I'll just move stuff around. So like in my mind it almost feels new. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I feel like that's a temporary kind of hack that you can do. In
absolutely.
place of new gear. It's just kind of changing the environment up a little bit.
Y'all mind if we check in with the chat real quick and see what they got to say about the conversation?
yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Check
it.
check them out.
All right. All right. So we've got let me see. Shout out to Jason Kent. Shout out to 2020 Sound. Uh, Bruno DeBean. Don't feel guilty. There are adult. This is funny. Don't feel guilty. They are adult toys. Just enjoy.
Yeah,
Adult toys is
That's
it's
a
kind of
little
a whole
bit.
nother.
Yeah.
But I feel you, bro.
yeah. Pause. You know, I'm just playing. Just playing, man.
Oh man. Let me see what else here. PBB Beats. Father of two here. Started beat making this year. Everything I have is budget other than the one. I still need a lot of stuff though. I haven't got any spare money yet to regret stuff. And that's an interesting perspective because it's like I still need a lot of stuff. And coming from somebody who started with an MPC 2000 and a crate of records, when you look at the MPCs now, it's like, what do you need it for, right? When you need more stuff, like, what do you really need it for? Like, I get it. I get it if you're trying to produce like a group or something.
Yeah.
But do we really need more?
No.
Yeah, we
I mean,
really don't.
you don't even need a keyboard. I mean, you just get acquainted with like playing with the pads. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They
That's how
make
I
it
look at
so
it.
easy now too. Like you got pad perform,
Right.
core mode. They got like the
Right.
chords laid out for you, so you don't even got to
But
know like
that's
music
another thing though.
theory.
You could invest in your own knowledge too, like
Yeah.
improving,
Yeah.
like learning a little bit about music theory might get
Mm-hmm.
you over that hump that you're trying to fill with some kind of piece of gear. Because
Yeah.
even with
Yeah,
like pad perform,
Mm-hmm.
like if you don't know nothing, if you know just a little bit, pad perform is gonna
Mm-hmm.
work even more for you. Like just know,
Yeah.
because there's certain progressions that create up certain genres and stuff. So if you're trying to get a certain feel, pad perform and no one knows like I think someone what is it called? It's just like there's numbers to the keys to the notes, right? To a
Right.
certain
Right.
key. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mm-hmm.
6, 7. those are like chords, and so if you play them in a certain order, they have a
Mm-hmm.
tendency to sound like a certain genre. So
Exactly.
just learning a little bit, and that's what I'm thinking is just like improving your own knowledge is helpful at filling that gap that you might be feeling with
Digging
something
in.
Well,
because
see
Jason Kent said the 101 wasn't worth it. Worst buyer's remorse I had on a piece of gear. Is that the one you just copped?
that is the one I got, man. Yeah, I mean, the sounds are they're okay. Some of them are good, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean they still don't compare to some of the stuff you can just put in the uh in the MPC itself, or like just definitely not comparable to like virtual instruments like Contact and stuff. But my excuse for that is just the immediacy of it. I think it's even faster than. I mean, I haven't been on software in a while as far as virtual instruments, but being able to like just twist through a preset and it's there that quickly, it's a lot faster than loading up a key group or like clicking through a VST. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just another excuse,
Well,
man.
see, that brings me to like my point is that like the reason why a lot of this stuff is like the way it is now. I mean, I think gas has always been a part of the culture and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, but like and like these days, I feel like it's even more prevalent just because like everything is so immediate. Like nobody wants to learn music theory because they don't have time. Everything is instant gratification. We need this stuff moving. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And everybody wants to get to everything fast. Where like I've been working and doing this stuff for, what I'm saying, since I was like 19 and I'm like 34 now. So it's like a lot of stuff I had to learn because they didn't have the software and stuff like so you had to learn some type of music theory or some type, just to like make your beat sound, decent. Because I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
working with pad perform and stuff like that. The
Right. Right.
earlier like
Mm,
versions of like Pro Tools and stuff like that didn't have that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, like in this day and age, like it's easy to have like gas either for like gear or like even like VSTs and stuff like that because it just makes like producing so easy. And I guess that's a good and a bad thing because
Yeah.
I mean you can get to creating faster, but at the same time you're not like obtaining the knowledge that you could use and like become even better, because I feel like
yeah.
people who are like just like even people that know how to play an instrument,
Mm-hmm.
like I still like get on my guitar and practice with my guitar and my like
Mm-hmm.
keyboard and stuff skills because people who can play keys and play instruments like when they like transform that or put that into like a beat or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, it just sounds so much better,
Yeah.
man.
And I'm gonna challenge something that you said too, which was, it can help you get to making music faster. Sometimes, right? So like
Yeah.
I'm gonna share with y'all this process of like this last standalone soul pack. I introduced two two new plugins, to my workflow for this second pack, and that was a J37 tape emulator, which was pretty dope, but there's
That's
a learning
dope.
curve to it. Yeah, it took me like a day to like start really getting accustomed to like what it was doing to the sound, and then I added this plug-in guitar called Ample Guitar, and bro, I lied to you not, like I had to lock in for like a solid 3 to 4 days just to figure out how to do a basic chord progression using that plugin. So, I've had this happen with various plugins that either companies have sent me or that I picked up, because sometimes it's bundles, right? Like I picked up the Sound Toys Effects Rack last Christmas or Black Friday for like $99, and it's like $600 worth of plugins in like one rack or whatever that you can use. So that was a learning curve too, like because I found myself spending an hour or two tweaking, again, 8 to 10 plugins inside the one bundle, right?
Yeah.
So each time I try to learn one, I still haven't learned the whole bundle, bro. I've learned probably like 4 of those plugins, and they're worth it. Like I've more than made up for what I paid for it, as far as like what I've earned from it and the improvements it's made to my music, in my opinion. But the thing is, those time investments is what I don't think a lot of people know. When you buy a new piece of gear, when you buy a new plugin, yo, bro, you're gonna be down
Mm,
like hours because it's gonna be a distraction. You're gonna be in the middle of making a beat, and you're gonna pull up this plugin, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm not getting the sound I want from it. And especially if you spent like $200, $300, $400 on a plugin, bro, you're gonna be like, yo, I'm not stopping until I make this reverb sound awesome. Like this is what you know what I'm saying? So you end up they call it throwing good money after bad, right? And it's not really saying it's bad, but it's the phenomenon of paying a lot for something or paying for something and then feeling like you need to invest the time to make it worth it. And I think that's the investment that Gearlust kind of takes from us, because our time is the most precious, right? Like time is really the most precious resource we have. It's more so than money. And we end up putting a lot of time into learning plugins that we might not even use next year. We find completely worthless in 3 or 6 months. What y'all think about that?
Dude, I got that in my notes too. Like, you know, like, because I said that it also slows down the learning, because there's always a learning curve with buying new gear. So like with me, when I buy new gear, like I know I'm getting it for a specific reason, and I don't even like I got this Line 6 Pod Go like guitar pedal that's super fucking amazing. Right, it does so much stuff. Like, and
it must be he had to drop an F-bomb on
bro.
it.
I'm talking about, like, I watch videos on it with people using it and what they can do with it. Like, and I only use it for one thing. Like, I know what I was getting it for, and I
did you pick that up, Raul? I watch videos on what guys can do with it. Yo, I'm telling you, it gets us every time, bro. It gets us every time. Like, yo, he crushed it. I need that.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I got it. I know what I was getting it for, because, you know, I was like in the market trying to kind of basically do the same thing you was doing with the effects processing, you know, with like the samples and stuff like that. So that's exactly what I got it for. And I figured out how to hook it up to my mixer, and like how to like get put the sounds and stuff on there, like on a custom like layout, and that's it. But it can do way more than what I bought it for, you know. And it's like a $500 like piece of, like, it's a $500 pedal. So I guess
I'm kind of thinking about the circuit rhythm. Even if I wasn't gonna use it as my main sampler, like turning on the lo-fi on that is pretty interesting. Like my drums for my next Patreon pack this month, I ran through there. And when you turn it on, I don't know what it's doing, if there's some compression or what else is going on there. But it sounds pretty dope. But I don't know if that's enough to justify me keeping it, you know. But
it's like a subtle processing thing, kind of like a SP.
It is. It's interesting. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. So beyond that, what's that?
I was just, well, my bad. I kind of cut you off, but you know, like what I was saying with that, it's like, you know, because we was talking about it taken away from, like, you know, the learning. It's like, you know, if you buy gear and you know what you're getting it for, then you can cut down on that. But like, it really is true. Like, it took me a while to like figure out the Mackie mixer when I got it. Like, I had to figure out how to route everything right. I had to figure out how to, like, you know, use the effects and how to even get it set up right so that it could work the way I needed it to work. So that took like precious time out of my day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, you know, like I said, in the end game, what I got it for, like, actually is saving me time now. But, you know, a lot of people buy stuff that they just want just because, you know, they see it. And, like, you know, like, you know, in the case of Raul, you know, you got the new circuit, and it's dope, but it's got a learning curve to it. So you got to learn it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you want to use it efficiently.
Yeah. And learning curves, they slow you down. If we're talking about like production quantity, like how much you can get done, if you're in a solid workflow and you're just banging out beats for like a solid 3 to 6 months, sometimes adding that piece of gear or that, you know, plugin or whatever it is, it'll actually take you off your focus and off your grind, you know. And it's tough because sometimes we don't figure that out for like a year, and you're like, I don't know why I'm so uninspired. And it's because, you know, something you're trying to justify something, and you're putting too much time into it. And it's really a time suck. Like it's really not very efficient, and you were making maybe better and more inspired stuff with less. So that's a tough realization to come to. Like, you know, it's a nonstop challenge.
But I wonder too, because I have so many years of doing this, and I'm just kind of wondering when I'll learn. Like it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal if I didn't have some debt to deal with. Like I'm adding, so it's not intelligent, really.
Oh yeah, see that's different, bro. And
It
that's
is. It is,
yeah,
but like I
that is
love
different.
samplers. I think samplers are my instrument. So like
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't have any of that, no problem. I probably have a few
Mm-hmm.
samplers. They just kind of intrigue me. It's like the
Yeah.
guitar guy with many guitars. You know what I mean? Like you get
Mm-hmm.
different sounds out of them. They're my instrument of choice. I consider it an instrument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you know, I'm 35 now. I started when I was like 16. I started writing raps when I was 16, and then
Mm-hmm.
started making beats around then, and then focused more on beats
Mm-hmm.
and went through so much different gear. I don't know, chasing for the workflow or for that, that thing is giving me instant inspiration.
Right.
So much, like it's ridiculous to think about. Like I remember sometimes, like, oh yeah, I used to own that. Um,
Mm.
but I just wonder if like I spent more time investing in my own craft and like my own knowledge and in myself, maybe
Yeah.
even writing raps. Like I'm just now getting back into writing. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
something. Maybe I just didn't have the confidence in it. Like anyone wanted to hear me. I think I've spoke that to myself. Like why would anyone want to listen to me?
Right. Right.
I've said that negative talk to myself, and I think I've kind of avoided that and like building that skill up until now, and I feel like I want to focus more on that. But just to do this and try to find the right workflow. So
Mm-hmm. And real
I
quick
wonder.
for the chat, what's the most regretful piece of gear y'all have bought?
Most regretful piece of
I
gear.
definitely yeah, like I'll take some time and let the chat kind of chime in on that. But what's kind of like the worst piece of gear you bought, and then even lately, like what's a piece of gear you bought lately that you were either disappointed with, or just didn't turn out to be what you thought it was going to be?
Mhm.
And real quick, what was the last like piece of gear that each one of you guys have bought? Like what was the last thing? Like lift the noise, was it the circuit or was it
See,
the
yeah.
101?
The thing is, the circuit kind of was a gateway to a couple other pieces. So
It's the
I got
gateway
the
Gateway.
drug.
circuit. Yeah, and then I was like, the circuit seems kind of quiet. So I had this passive mixer I was using to feed everything into the MPC, but the MPC is pretty loud, so it
Mm-hmm.
was fine.
Okay.
So I ended up ordering a little Mackie mixer, so it's like the cheapest line. But I'm not regretting that at all. That's great. Like I put everything in there, it's loud, and that's what you're hearing me through and all that. But then I got the MC 101 for the sounds to run into the circuit so I can start creating my own original music, right? Like composing
Mm-hmm.
stuff rather than just sampling. So that's the last stuff I've gotten. I'm telling you, I am going through some regret right now.
Because
But
what
it's
I'm
not.
wondering, and this is the one
But
I want to ask you about the purchase is, all right, we just got all these synths in the MPC. What's stopping you from just running the synths into the circuit instead of
I
buying
know
another synth? And I'm just thinking
weirdo.
practically, like
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I told myself that too.
it happens, man. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like we kind of create these journeys in our mind. So I'm not. We're all guilty of it. I think my latest piece of gear, I bought this cloud lifter for this mic, and this is gonna sound ridiculous. It's gonna sound absolutely ridiculous
I think I know where this is going.
because my fader on my mixer was all the way maxed out, and I bought the cloud lifter so I wouldn't have to max out my fader. Like my fader wouldn't be all the way to the top,
Yeah.
and now it's at 94%.
Oh man. Does
Yeah.
it tell you like in the description how much that the cloud lifter will raise it up?
Yeah, it says 20 decibels, but I'm like, I just don't know. And
I'm
yo, here's the thing, though, bro. Literally 4 days later, after I bought the cloud lifter, somebody made a comment like, "Oh yeah, I was looking at the Clark Technic. You should get that, and it's only $29. Yo, the cloud lifter is 159. The
oh
Clark
crap.
Technic is like 29. They got another one for 39. Does the exact same thing. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to send this cloud lifter back and get the Clark Technic. Yo, sold out everywhere. Sold out everywhere. Every single alternative that there is sold out. Like has been sold out for like
Well, that
6 to 8 straight weeks.
it speaks for it, especially in this day where everybody wants to start. Everybody's starting podcasts and recording at their house. COVID like brought a lot of that stuff out.
Mm.
But yeah, like I was wondering why you didn't. I think we talked about it because the cloud lifter kind of like acts as a gate too, right? So it takes out some of the background noise as
No,
well.
what it does is it uses phantom power to it converts phantom power into more gain for dynamic mics. So when I heard somebody on YouTube use it, they were using a Rodecaster Pro, and
Yeah.
it made it sound so much better. But when I used it on this Tascam, it still had a lot of noise, like the noise floor, like a little hiss.
Yeah.
Excuse me, like I thought it was going to get rid of the hiss. It didn't. So yeah, I'm a little,
Can't you
little
like
upset.
use a game program? I mean a game plugin in there as well.
I'm trying to simplify it, bro. My issue is I'm running, like when I'm running a stream, I have like 6 windows up. So then having to rely on a plugin to not crash
Oh
is,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it was just too much. So I'm trying to analog my way all the way to my, as much as possible, so I don't have to keep, all these screens up.
Okay.
But real quick, I just want to get to the chat and see what some of the guys, some of the guys are saying. They were disappointed. Jason Kent said, "Super disappointed. Rowland Verse Lab MV1," and I think we were talking about that. Like that was they made it look really cool. The marketing was really cool for it, but I was just like, for guys who had NPCs, I was like, I don't get it. Like why?
I thought it would have intrigued me more, but when I saw it, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, didn't do it
it's
for
supposed
you.
to be for like rappers too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a
It
kind
seemed
of
like a
combo
scratch
there,
pad. Hmm.
maybe there's less of those in. I don't know. How's that doing? I wonder how that's doing as far as like sales for them.
Yeah.
Haven't
William
seen
Oates
much.
said Korg ESX1. I'm not familiar with that
We
one.
got a Korg on there though. Like Korg usually makes pretty good products, so that's surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I
That's
don't know what the
what is that, like an
ESX1 does.
electrode? Is that like an older
Is it?
software
Let me look it up real quick.
drum
Korg
machine?
ESX1. Oh yeah, the Electribe. I think I had one of those. Like, I had a homie who let me borrow it, and he never asked for it back. But it had like a little tube,
Oh yeah,
tube thing you could do, and it was like a synthesizer. Yeah, exactly.
when was
Let's
that?
see what else. All right, Mega House. Now we're gonna have to address this, bro, because he said MPC Touch hands down. Now it's being used as a paperweight. All right, now I heard you make some bangers on the Touch, bro, because this is my homie from back in Jersey, and I think he had a MPC
His
1000
picture,
back in the day.
his picture is the MPC Touch.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, you coming in real conflicting right now, bro. But no, I'm interested to hear why. Is it? I think he was having technical issues getting the Touch to work with it might have been was it a Mac M1 Mac? If so, the new software might have fixed that, bro. So
Yeah, it works now.
yeah,
it
I
works.
think it works on
can,
M1s.
I can definitely clarify that because I have an M1 Mac Mini and everything is working perfectly for me right now. I was so happy. I was one of the most happiest people about that because I've been reporting on this since the day the M1 Mac came out because I got one like pretty much like on like launch. So
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's been super stressful for me. Like I still haven't upgraded my Mac with the the gigs that I had because I got like basically the base model. So I need
Hmm.
to get like a, a new hard drive, a bigger hard drive, and like
Hmm.
so I can put all my complete. Like I don't even have all my plugins on the M1 Mac because I couldn't use it with my MPC. So
Gotcha. This comment was interesting. Bruno said, "Look at Andrew Wang's Wang. I don't know how to pronounce it. Idea of doing separate sound design sessions to the actual beat making session to enjoy extra gear. It applies to digging, cutting, and chopping. Now, this I can definitely agree with because since I've gotten into designing for standalone soul, I bought things that I probably wouldn't have bought had I not been creating a sample pack. And this is a concept I started getting into last year, which is sound design first, like create loops first, and then go back and chop up your own loops later. And it was like, because I was getting beat blocked because I just got tired of drums. I was just like, yo, I'm tired of hearing hard drums over everything. You know what I'm saying? And what I used to do, no, seriously, bro, like I'm 41. Like I've been listening to hip hop nonstop since like 1994, bro. Like you're talking about 27 years of hip hop and as my primary genre. And then I started thinking about like, yo, one of the things I loved best when I first started making beats was digging through vinyl and listening to other genres. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And being that I don't have vinyl currently, you know what I mean, when we get the new house, I'll probably build a small, you know, little vinyl library. But right now, I'm creating all my melodies, but I found that just spending like a month creating melodies was so much fun. Like not putting drums on anything, unless I really felt inspired. You know what
It's
I'm
just
saying?
funny though, because I could just picture you sitting up there like, man, just take the drums out, take them out. I'm tired of these drums, man. It's 808 is getting on my
This, and it's funny.
nerves, man.
I've been thinking about like Congo and bongo loops under drum under instead of
Yeah,
like drum.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what's that loop everybody used? The
Straight
Incredible
coffee
Bongo
house.
Band.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one Nas used. They just use the Congo, the congas and the
Was that Thief's theme?
yeah. He used it on he used that same loop on like 4 songs.
Y'all straight going for the coffee house vibe. Y'all want to be in the coffee house,
Yeah,
like performing in front of everybody in the coffee house. You know,
Yeah,
what I'm
coffee house is all lo-fi now, bro. It's all
know, right?
lo-fi vibes now.
saying?
Let me go down and catch some more. Ride Beats, what up? The Octatrack is amazing. What is the Octatrack? Oh yeah, that's Electron. Yeah, Electron stuff. I've been hearing great stuff about the Electron stuff.
Yeah.
Jason
Digitech
Kent
was
said
interesting.
they went from 250 to 500 now since they fixed the touch issues. Oh, okay. I think he's talking about the MPCs.
Hey, did you see Nelson? Nelson, I can't even say his last name. He's from Portugal. We got somebody in here from,
Inocenio? Oh
yeah.
yeah. Shout out to Portugal.
Yeah, we got some. That's the first time I seen somebody from Portugal in the chat. Shout out.
But yeah, man, I think well, you know, it's tough when you make a purchase and you're outside of that return deadline. And what I started doing is I started putting notifications in my phone, like yo, when I buy something, and then it's like I'll give myself 30 days because I think most of the music stores now have like a 45-day policy or something like that. So after 30 days, I'll be like, you know, I'll be like, yo, have I used this thing? And you know, if it's earning, like, you know, the concept I gave before, which is kind of how I justify things, is I start thinking like, all right, is this going to either save me a lot of time or start making me money within the next like 4 to 6 weeks? And you know what I'm saying? If I can see that happening, then I'll keep it, because at the end of the day, it's not just about money, but it's about stuff that's like efficient and stuff that's going to earn when you're doing this as a business. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not just making music as a business, but it's, for me, it's got to be a combination of, it's got to earn for me in some way, whether it's, you know, creating a video about it. But again, I don't want my channel to be the one like, oh, look what I just bought. You should get one, and the link in the description. Like, nah, I can't do that. Like, I can't tell people they should get something, or you know, I don't really ever do that anyway. But I can't really get behind something unless it's something that I can't live without. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, most gear now can accomplish what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's definitely my channel. I'm doing all that for you guys. No, I'm just,
But no, you have so much stuff you haven't reviewed or anything that you use
I
all the
know.
time. So it's kind
I
of like
know.
past due.
I know I'm gonna get to like a studio tour video, but like, you know, the thing is, it's like when I'm a huge component of using what you got. I still use my MacBook. Like, even though I got the M1 Mac Mini, like I was having problems streaming with my Mac because I changed out the logic board. But if that wasn't the case, I would still be using my 2012 MacBook Pro, because before I changed out the logic board, it was powerful enough to run streams and stuff like that. But you know, like, I don't know what it is with, like, if you don't get your Apple stuff sent to like an Apple dealer and get it done professionally through them and pay like, you know, $500 when your computer's not even worth that anymore, then certain stuff doesn't work right when you get it back. But it fixed a lot of the problems. But I still use it for my MPC. You know, I still got all my software and all my stuff on there. I still use it for Logic. You know, I'll do like some certain stuff like that in it. So like, I mean, you build on your studio. You buy the stuff that works for you. Like you said, it's a time thing. Like everything I buy for my studio is like specifically mapped out to, is it going to save me that time or not? Because that's the biggest thing for me. I have a pet peeve about switching cables, about like anything that like makes me have to like do too much
Crawl under the
extra.
desk. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If
I'm
I have to
not
crawl
crawling under
under,
the desk,
if
bro.
I
It's
have
not
to do that,
happening.
bro, I'm done. Like I'm done. Once I plug in the cables and get it all fixed, I don't even want
Yeah,
to do nothing no more. I'll come
yeah.
back tomorrow.
I feel you.
Like that's how I am. So like, like everything that I buy is like tailored to my studio in some way.
I
You
thought
know,
this was an interesting comment. Dazadenu, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Everything I've purchased hardware wise has been very deliberate. I can use them in multiple situations. See, that's what I like. That's what I like. Those pieces of gear that are like Swiss Army knives. He said, however, I bought a headphone router for when I was in a band. Then they broke up. Hashtag regret.
yeah.
Yeah, what you gonna do with a headphone router with just you in the studio? Yeah, that's rough, man. I have a whole bunch of stuff from my old studio that actually it's not a headphone router. It's called a control room matrix, but it's got an additional headphone out. And I guess you could say it was before the Mackie Big Knobs or whatever, but it's from Samsung. But that's something that I bought for a commercial studio I was running, and then it kind of it just kind of fell apart, and I inherited it. But yeah, it lasted a long time. It's like 12 years now. I need to replace it with like a Mackie Big Knob or something because it's starting to get a little static on it. But yeah, sometimes those failed music projects do leave you with gear that you're like, man, I can't do nothing with this.
Yeah, man.
But let
So
me let me pose a question. Because I like earlier I talked about, since I struggle with this so much, I talked about these videos that I made, and there's like a list of things that I do to try to avoid these situations. So is there anything that you guys have consciously, or if you just kind of evaluate when you've like refrained from making these kinds of purchases that may not necessarily be to your benefit?
You're
What
looking
are
for a
some of those
trigger to
things?
not pull the trigger.
Yeah, like either one, if you have anything. Like for
Yeah.
me, it was like the hack of like just switching up your studio so it's like feels like a new environment.
Hmm.
Or another one would be like to really like dig into a new feature on the gear that you have. Like learn your stuff
Yeah.
inside out, before
Hmm.
you think you need something else to do what it is you might be able to do in your machine already. So
Yeah,
there's a
I
couple
think
things.
something that I've invested in that I really, really, really enjoy because I'm getting into this whole modular thing, right? Like I need everything in my studio to perform multiple duties, or if it has a specific duty, it works well with another piece of gear. And honestly, one of the best things that I bought, in my opinion, has been this pedal board. Now, I bought two pedals. The Chase Bliss Blooper was $500, which if I wasn't doing sound design, I probably could have got another version, not from them, but from another company that might have been like 200, right? And then that gives me like a real analog. It's an alternative to using a SP 404, and it's just different. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that I'm saying I'm very happy with. My pedal board in general I'm very happy with, and I guess guitarists can say they go crazy with pedals and end up selling some. But the reason I think that buying in that mindset of is this how is it going to enhance something else? I knew that the sound the issue that I was having with the MPC is the sound is too clean, right? Like it's just you can put anything in an MPC and get anything out. You can check. It's great for manipulating. It's great for so many areas of production. But the one flaw that the modern MPCs have is the sound texture is the same. Like it's just so clean, and some say it's clinical or whatever.
what about like even when you use like the vintage modes? Does that help at all when you
It's
use the
not.
vintage?
It's not analog, bro. It's not like. It's not. It's hard to explain, but it sounds. Eventually, your ears get used to it. Because I've tried it. Like I've used all the digital effects in the MPC, top to bottom. I love a lot of them, but it
Okay.
does not sound like these pedals. It does not sound like when you send it through a SP404. It does not sound like when you put it on a tape machine. You know what I'm saying? Like record it on a tape and play it back.
Yeah.
So what I found with the MPCs is being that they don't color the sound, which is fine. Buying things to color the sound are great investments because they're typically pretty cheap and they make using your MPC so much more fun. So like last night when I was cooking up on my live stream, I had made all these loops for my sample pack, and when I finally got to sit down and make beats in the MPC with them, I didn't have to do anything but just use the MPC because I already colored the sounds. I already, you know what I'm saying? I spent the time on sound design. and I just loved the sound I was getting out of it because it was already pre-processed. And that is going back to the roots of why most of us love the MPC, which is we're used to sampling vinyl, right? Which already sounds warm and vintage. So we're used to getting very colored and very like, you know, like analog sounding stuff coming into the MPC. So the problem a lot of us have been having is when you're creating stuff in the MPC, it doesn't sound like those records that you originally started sampling with. So I think investing in making your stuff sound like a record before you get it into the MPC, or making it sound like whatever you're into, whether it's like live, you know, live band or whatever, coloring your sound before you get it into the MPC, I think is a fantastic investment. And I don't know if that answers your question, Raul.
Does that save you from buying more gear?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I think that's a specific question. It's like what like kind of processes do we go through that like save us from like buying gear? Like, is there like
It
one
saved
thing?
me from buying gear because I can use everything in my MPC now and change the way it sounds. So I can use the hype synth, I can use the Mellotron, I can use, you know what I'm saying, like anything that I sample. You know, if I get like a key group that sounds good, like one of the key groups that come with the MPC, and it sounds good, but it's just missing a little vintage sound to it. Boom, shoot it out. It comes right back in through the pedal board. Sounds perfect. Exactly what I wanted. So it saved me from buying a whole bunch of like analog synths, because I take a digital synth from inside the MPC or a digital key group, send it through this analog gear, and it gives me that texture that I'm looking for that I would have had to buy, you know, like a $500 synth or $1,000 synth or whatever. It keeps me from buying a whole bunch of vintage stuff because I'm able to make modern sounds sound vintage with just this one kind of signal routing. That makes sense.
See,
Yeah,
mine is just money. I'm cheap. I'm
I
gonna
don't
just be
agree with
honest.
you, but okay.
I'm gonna just look. Because like this is a thing. Like I will spend money. I would pay money if it's worth it. Like if it's worth it. Like if I feel like it's worth it, I would spend money. But you know, like we've had this conversation like site. I used to buy Jordans and stuff all the time, man. Like you know, and I love Jordans. I'm a shoe guy. You know, that's me. But like I could be putting my money in better things. You know, I could be investing my money and stuff. You know, hopefully I get to a point to where I can buy Jordans and it's nothing. You know,
Hmm.
because like that's what we're all trying to get to a point where we can do stuff that we want to do, you know, and it's not like taxing us, you know, because
Right.
like, you know, even though I can afford buying Jordans, you know, if I just invest that money into something, I could like, you know, 2x to 5x my money, you
Yeah,
know.
you're
So like
thinking
that's
return on investment.
yeah, return on investment. So that's the same thing with my gear. Like, you know, if it's not gonna help me, like if it's not gonna like perform a specific thing that I need,
Hmm.
I won't buy it. Like I thought about buying a Machine Plus just
When
to
you
do
say
videos.
you need, you mean you need to earn additional income.
Yeah, well, yeah, to earn additional income and just to like cut down my time because, like you said, time is the most valuable thing you got.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of time with the kids and and the job
Hmm.
so like when I'm trying to like get stuff done, I need to be able to just get in here and get to work. You know what I'm saying? But without messing with a whole bunch of things. So you know,
Without
for
stuff
me,
crashing, without
yeah. So in that sense, you know what I'm saying, like when I make a purchase, like it's gotta like do something specific that that's gonna help me or I
mm.
won't get it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes hand in hand with that second thing I was saying. So like before you make that purchase, make sure it adds something. Like Site says,
Yep.
make sure it's adding something. So he's adding a certain element to the the tonal quality of the sound. So before
Mm-hmm.
that, learn your machine. And because
Hmm.
if you don't know, I mean, I still don't know everything about the MPZ. There's a lot of features I don't use, like the step sequencer, whatever.
Right.
Figure out whether you can do it in your machine, and then if you can't, then maybe that purchase is worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
But
I
it's
say
see,
worth
get
the
as
money.
close to it as possible, right? Like
yeah.
get as close to what you're trying to accomplish with what you have, and then whatever's missing, try to fill it in. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? At that point, as
see, this is
cheap.
what
I don't say cheaply, but as efficiently as possible.
well, this is what you have. You have a lot of people doing stuff like you know, like I know I machine people want to fight me this week because of the video I just released. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like that. Why do I need a Machine Plus and an MPC when they both do the same thing? You know, in my opinion, the MPC does
Relatively,
way
yeah.
better. You
Hmm.
know, but at the same point, you know, it's like, you know, I'm basically buying two things that do the same thing. So like you
Yeah.
said, learn the MPC and get good at the MPC. You know what I'm saying, and then do that. You know, I shouldn't even bought the MPC to be honest, because I'm efficient in FL Studio and Logic Pro. So you know, I just had that nostalgia. That's me being young Caesar. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I think that it has to be a balance of what you're comfortable with, right? Like none of us really need NPC. Somebody said today's what was it? Today's technology allows us to just use a controller, and a skilled producer to just use a controller. I think he said.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a comment, and that's a great point. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really need any of this stuff, but ergonomics is a real thing. And when I tell people, I go back to this analogy of NPCs are like Ferraris. You know what I'm saying? You don't buy a Ferrari because it's practical and it can do everything. You buy a Ferrari because it gives you a specific. You're trying to perform a specific task, which is driving, and you want it to be fun. You know what I'm saying? So it's delivering a certain experience to driving. So that's why you buy a Ferrari. You don't buy an MPC because it can do everything. If you want a vehicle that can do everything, you buy like a sport utility vehicle. You know what I'm saying? You buy like a Ford Expedition, or maybe not that, but something that can travel off road, travel on road. Nah, you get a Ferrari when you
a Ford F-150.
right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a perfect utility vehicle. It does so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, the NPC doesn't have all the bells and the whistles. You know what I'm saying? It's gradually getting better. The technology is getting better, but it'll never really catch up with like a Studio One or Ableton, and people really shouldn't want it to. I don't want it to. I bought a Ferrari because I want a Ferrari. If I want luxury and I want, you know what I'm saying? Like if I want to sit in the second row with my feet extended, you buy a Maybach for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the way I look. The analogy I make is, we don't need this stuff. We buy certain stuff for the experience of it, and the experience of an MPC is not really like anything else. Machine is kind of close, you know what I'm saying? But we're talking about just the speed of the workflow and laying down ideas quickly.
But would you buy a Machine Plus too, having an MPC?
I would only buy a Machine Plus if I wanted to attract that crowd to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only way I would buy one, because like you said, it's redundant in my setup.
Well, all you gotta do is just talk about it. People will come and roast you in your comments.
That's true. That's another way to do it.
But it's like like, and I don't knock people for doing that. Like, right, well, obviously you have like different, different samplers and stuff like that. I don't knock you for it. It's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you one thing, like, if I was making like an impulse buy just to get something that has nostalgia, like I want like a MPC 2500.
Mm-hmm.
Not so I can use it or nothing, like I just want it like as a trophy in the studio, like and I do want to mess around with it and stuff like that, but it's just something that I want in my studio one day. You know what I'm saying? So it's not not necessarily like a like something for me to buy to like do something in my studio. I just want it.
Mm-hmm.
You have those pieces of gear that you just like, yo man, like like my favorite producer, or like like you grew up on it and you seen it, and it's like, man, it would be nice to just have it,
Right.
just because,
And I think, no, I was going to say, looking at the chat, Kay Norton was talking about, I think he said, Angie Stone Baby was done on Reason, so it's the skill. And then he said, Machine was not out when I worked on her album and single. I had a 25 key Axiom, and Reason record earned a Grammy nomination. And that's a good point. I mean, here's the thing with gear too, like that we need to. Gearless is fine if you're a working musician making money, like in a sense of, if I get a $20,000 check from a record that I did, and I want to spend $5,000, $10,000 on gear, why not?
It's actually smart to do it that way too.
Absolutely,
it's smart to do that way because it's a write-off,
Mm-hmm.
business write-off. So,
and I think it's just it's it's self-awareness, it's knowing where you are in your producer career, knowing if you're just doing it to have fun, or knowing if you're, because there's different ways to monetize, there's different ways to earn a living. You can do it, the way we do, which is, create a channel, and there's different revenue streams that come from YouTube channels, the ad revenue, sponsorships. There's like 5, 10 different ways you can make money as a YouTuber. And then there's also, as a musician in the music industry, you can earn revenue that way. And I don't think the Gearless thing, I don't even think it's Gearless if you're making money. It's not so much Gearless, it's more investing in your next project and your inspiration, because that's what's paying you. So it's a practical move at that point. I think Gearless really applies more towards people who aren't earning. And like Raul was talking about, like if you're going into debt for your gear, that's scary, man. I'm such a financial proponent of not being in debt, because I've been in debt. It's not like, what I'm saying? It's not a good feeling, man. Like, especially when it's a lot, like, especially when you have like a situation where, we're talking about families, you have like a family emergency, your wife loses her job, or, what I mean? Something like that. And it's like, now you're looking at those bills like, damn, like now I'm gonna have to sell this gear. And that's, I don't like that feeling, I've never been a fan of that feeling, because things are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is going to happen. And if you're not earning, a ton of money with your gear already, like going into debt for it is such a scary proposition for me, man. Like, there's very few things I go into debt for now at my age now. I did it when in my 20s, and I kind of paid for it because it all caught up to me. I went through a divorce. That's what happened to me. And my credit was destroyed for like years. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you this, like earlier in my life too, like before, because like my whole thing now is like, now that I'm older, I've been working like hard on financial stability, because I didn't come from my background. It's like where I came from, there was never that. Like I never came from like financial stability or having that, my people always work paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that. So like that type of stuff like falls on you too, like in some ways. But like, I had to learn how
those habits
not to be like that. But I tell you, like I always stood, because my mom, like, shout out to my mom's probably gonna hate me, but she'll even tell you, like, part of her life was like dark, you know what I'm saying? And like she would get a lot of stuff and she would take it and pawn it, and like, or have to sell it and stuff like that. Like, I'm a true proponent. If I buy something, like I will not buy anything. If I fall on hard times, I'm still not selling shit. I'm gonna be in a box with my stuff. I promise you. You know what I'm saying?
And why is that? Like, are you just attached to the gear, or are you saying you're making the type of purchases that
if I'm making,
will earn for you?
Yeah, I think I'm making the type of purchases that are gonna earn for me. And then at that same instance, it's like, if I buy something, I'm gonna stand on it. I'm not gonna buy something just to, you know what I'm saying? So if I buy it, it better be worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going back. You know what I'm saying? For me.
Like selling it, you're not selling it.
Yeah, I'm not selling it. I'm telling you, I would be in the box. You remember that commercial where it's like, go to your box? That's gonna be me with my MPC if it ever happens. But now I'm in a place like, where I'm not like totally financially like, but I'm doing a lot better, and it keeps getting better every year. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's because you invested in things instead of just bought impulsively.
And that's just what, you just gotta come to terms with that, and just figure out what's important first. And if you are buying gear, like make it work for you. Like, obviously, like Lifted Noise, your channel, like where you're at right now, you can, like, I'm telling you, bro, we've had this conversation before. Like, your channel is great, bro. So like, it's only a matter of time before, what you're doing is definitely an investment. So it's not definitely like,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I look at it that way. Part of it's
yeah,
kind of strategic. I got a new piece of gear that applies for us people who are doing YouTube or choosing to pursue that.
yeah,
Right, I can take that and do that. But I think it, like we were talking earlier, it's a matter of some self-awareness, of what you want to do, and maybe in getting a piece and trying that, and maybe I'll give it a little more time. use that strategy. You got 45 days. But maybe that's just not me. Maybe I'm not, like you're aware site that you're not just trying to do a bunch of gear videos and accept every offer that comes your way. Like I mean,
Hmm.
I've gotten some offers as well, and I'm not gonna just take every single offer. But maybe it's just not me, and maybe this is just the process of me figuring that out. Is
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be a gear channel. Although
Yeah. Yeah.
it could be a good strategy. But yeah, we'll see. I mean,
Hmm.
these are all valid things. So I appreciate the intervention, guys.
Nah, man, it's self imposed, bro. Because it's like you're kind of struggling with something, and I think that's huge. That reflection on stuff, bro. Because I've been through it like plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I still get it. I'm still capable of buying a piece and then feeling guilty about it. Like I've done it, and it's something that I think as creators we're always going to struggle with. But I think just like going back to what O was saying, thinking about why we're buying something on a practical level, like what's the return on investment. It sounds so business and rigid when you say it, but the actual peace of mind that comes from it, from knowing that okay, at the very worst, I should make my money back on this piece of gear in 6 months or a year or whatever. That peace of mind is huge. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be paid off. You don't have to worry about it. And then if you want to sell it because you don't want it anymore, at least at that point it makes sense. Like you got use out of it and you made profit is just great, bro. Profit is not great in a sense of like I'm not saying it like Mr. Super Capitalist Man. I'm saying profit is great. The peace of mind of knowing that you pay for something and you got more back from it than you paid for it because it's just the freedom, right? Like, so now when I go buy the next thing, I'm not taking money out of my pocket to buy the next thing. I'm taking the money from the previous thing and keeping a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm buying the next thing. So
and
that
I
part of it is great.
and I'm gonna just put it in perspective like this too. It's not all about money. You know what I'm saying? Because like for you, if you're buying gear and you're being creative and you're getting like, that helps with other things like with mental health, like stress off of you. You know what I'm saying? Being
Yeah.
able to, people don't understand how like how important that stuff is too. And like one of these podcasts, we're gonna try to see if we can find like somebody who can come in and talk about like the mental health of like
Hmm.
creators and stuff like that. That's something that we've been talking about. But it's like you know, like
Debt can add to
the
depression, bro. Like
yeah,
it can lead you to a depression. Like or not. I don't want to call it debt, but like pressure, financial pressure. So
yeah,
putting extra financial pressure on yourself, whether it's from gear, whether it's whatever, like you said, buying Jordans,
yeah.
bad financial decisions, or I don't call them bad, but like ones that are not like gonna earn for you, or things that are more expenses than investments. It can really come back to bite you. When you're not doing so. I get depressed when I'm not making money, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's no other thing to call it. Like, if I'm not earning and like I'm at it, like money's going out faster than it's coming in. Yo, I'm irritable. My wife doesn't like me because I'm snappy. You know what I mean? What do you mean? I gotta make money today. Why are you asking me to take the trash out? You know what I mean? It's like I'm being exaggerating, obviously, but that's the kind of stuff in my head that I don't even like to happen. I don't even like to put myself in that space where it's like I'm all extra snappy with everybody because I'm not earning. So I think at the core of it, that's really my motivation for the business side, is to make sure I'm not adding pressure to myself, which allows me to be a better father because I don't have this extra pressure on me. Because when you have pressure on you, you take it out on other people. It happens. There's no way around it. So I think the less financial pressure I can put on myself, the better like
Right.
husband I'll be, the better father I'll be, and the more helpful I'll be to people because I won't be thinking about myself all the time.
Well, yeah, and
It's,
I mean, that's all about fulfilling your purpose as a provider, as a father.
Hmm.
So I mean, it makes sense, like, to feel fulfilled, and I get it too. And like Caesar, you were saying, the creativity thing, the mental health is all it's all wrapped into one, because if your purpose can bring you in and money and allow you to provide for your family, then you're fulfilled. And yeah,
yeah.
Hmm.
it takes that snappiness away from frustration that you get
Hmm.
when things aren't really going.
And it can, bro. Like we're in a time where it doesn't matter what kind of art you create. There's an audience for you. It might not be huge. It might be 1,000 people. It might be 10,000 people. It might be a million people, who
But
knows? But
even that's fulfilling though. Because
yeah.
I mean my channel is the smallest out of all you guys' channel, and still like the comments that I get through my channel like are just so rewarding sometimes.
Hmm.
You know, when people like we don't even realize like the stuff like when you create, you know what I'm saying? Like it touches people in a different way. And you don't always recognize it until somebody comes through your channel and they like express that to you. And
Hmm.
like that's one of the reasons why I love YouTube so much. It's like I see how it like affects people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And that comes back to just your creative mind. So like if you're buying stuff that's helping you do the things that you love and be creative, it can be a great thing as long as you're not, overdoing it. You know, it's about everything is about finding the balance, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not going into debt for, buying your gear, but buying the gear and using the gear that you got, to express your creativity. It's going to help with all your mental stuff. It's going to put you in a great place. Cause I honestly hate when I can't do YouTube. Like when I can't get a video done, when I can't, like I hate it because like that's a place where I can go and like I know that people understand. Like
Hmm.
they,
You're gonna find
actually
your audience.
I'm making a
Yeah.
difference.
You find purpose in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I'm making a difference. And yeah, like obviously money is a motivator too, but like if you run a YouTube channel, you know that you do not get paid from YouTube right away.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to build it, you know what I'm saying? And it's not something that happens overnight. So
Yeah.
basically you're doing it because you love it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a
you know,
yeah,
go
it's just
ahead.
a matter of getting those two things to meet each other, the thing that you
Yeah.
love doing and then making that money. Because yeah, also, I mean, I got a 9 to 5 job and make the money, pay the bills, whatever. But when I'm not creative, I still feel that irritation, that stackiness too. Like when I don't get it
Hmm.
done. When I do, once it's
Yeah.
done, I feel good for a while. So, and then it's just a matter of meeting those two things eventually. Because if I'm not progressing on the creative thing towards making it meet with the financial thing,
Right.
then yeah. So, um, I mean, that's what it is. I think that's all I had to say.
That
Well,
makes sense.
for the people who, you know what I'm saying, like because obviously everybody's not doing the stuff like us, and trying to like, be YouTubers and stuff like that. But like, you know, I I encourage everybody to do some type of something creative, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Just don't go into debt, doing it. And if you got it, it ain't tricking if you got it. If you got the money and you want to have 1,000 synthesizers, then that's on you,
Hmm.
you know but it's
Yeah.
got to make sense, man. It's got to make sense. You got to be conscious of what your situation is,
Hmm.
the things that you can afford, how it's going to help you, you know what I'm saying? And basically make a decision off of that, because all that stuff ties into like your stability like as a person, you know what I'm saying? And like, and helps you make better decisions. So like for instance, if I see something that I know I really don't need and I don't buy it, that's
Hmm.
good for me because now I'm learning how to make smarter decisions. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like if I like, I missed out on 2 trips this year, two or three big trips that all my friends were going on, that I seen all the pictures. I was talking to Sight. I was crying to Sight about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they went to Florida, they went to Vegas, I missed out on those trips, but it just wasn't fine. It's not financially in my cards right now for me to go. And
Hmm.
that was a decision that I had to make, a hard decision, because I could have went and had that fun, and I
Yeah.
could have still took my MPC and turned it into some type of business stuff, but financially it wasn't
Yeah,
it
that's a
wasn't,
choice. Like,
you know.
I mean, you could always try to make it work, and that's kind of where I'm at
Hmm.
with the gears. Like, or choose not to put that extra financial pressure on. You
Yeah,
Hmm.
know,
man. Well,
so
you got to know
it
yourself too.
Yeah.
yeah.
And real quick, I just want to transition to something. Not it's in the same vein, but I wanted to ask. All right, what? Because this is something I feel like I want to start including more on my channel. Is what gear do you get or have you got that actually has given you the most peace of mind or given you the most return on investment? and I'd be interested to hear both of yours. You know, whether music or not, just kind of something that you invested in equipment wise that's given you a huge ROI or helped in a lot of ways.
Mine
Honestly,
is
go
short and
ahead.
sweet.
Yeah, you go
And
ahead.
it's just the MPC because I mean I've based my whole YouTube channel off of MPC, whether it was the live first and then now the one. So short, sweet answer. That's it.
Yeah, and mine is basically the same thing. Is because the NPC, like what you're able to do with it, man. It helps you create fast, man. And
Mm-hmm.
like like I said, I'm proficient in like FL Studio and stuff. But like you said, it's like the ergonomics too. Like FL Studio, like you got the controller keyboard and stuff like that. I've always been like I people don't know this about me, but it's been years since I played, but I'm a drummer too. So I know
Mm-hmm.
how to play the drums. I was pretty good. I played in like the church and stuff like that. Like but I've always wanted to have like that thing where I could just
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
lay
And
something down quickly.
yeah, and the MIDI keyboards just wasn't doing that for me. So like when I first got the Renaissance, man, it was like, man, this is like everything I've been wanting, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like just to have the pads and just the like, what I'm saying, it was just crazy, bro. And like
Yeah.
I just started like forming like from that point, what I'm saying, I started forming everything around the NPC.
Mm-hmm. So turn
So
it to the
like
hub, and then
yeah, it
so
turned
that
into
what you
like
would say is kind of like the key to like things expanding for you or improving.
yeah, what I'm saying, because I still use like those other programs, but I use it only after I use the NPC. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
come up with something quick in the NPC and like get it like how I want it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I bounce the stems into something like, because we don't have linear editing on the NPC yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll still go into like, FL or Logic or Pro Tools, and I'll still like, map it out in there and then
Mm-hmm.
do the final mix,
All right, so
basically
I'm gonna
create a
flip
beat.
it. I'm gonna flip it on its head, right? Because I'm gonna go here with it.
Hey,
This is the best piece of gear I have bought. I'm not talking about a huge honking camera. I'm talking about investing in a professional camera and lighting
yep,
has hands down been the best thing for my music, like inspiration, because now I can share it with people in a quality way. Investing in the quality of my visuals has made my music career profitable. It's made it sustainable. It's made it basically like more higher profile than I've ever had. Just kind of like putting music out in mass, right? So you can put out 100 songs, but and people might not find them. But if the way our world revolves around visuals, this is something I kind of want to drill home to producers and guys in the music space who are looking to kind of take their career or their aspirations to the next level. Investing in your visuals, whether it's the graphic design, whether it's the photography, whatever it is, definitely lighting though. Like invest in that part
Mm.
before you buy more gear.
yeah,
And the reason is if you're trying to get exposure and you want people to like what you're doing, or you're trying to get sales from your music or streams or whatever it is, them getting to know you is like your audience getting to know you on a personal level or an artistic level. A huge part of your presentation is the visuals. You know what I'm saying? Because people, they might go to Spotify and listen for new music, but chances are people are going to find you on social media. They're going to find you on YouTube. They're going to find you on Facebook. They're going to find you on Instagram. And if your visual presentation isn't clean, there's not, like, people are visual creatures first. That's why all these platforms succeed. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds
yeah,
counterintuitive because you would think like, okay, I need this piece of gear to make my music pop off, or I need this microphone to get more sales for my album because, chances are your stuff sounds good enough for 99% of consumers. Chances are, what I'm saying, like, again, we're talking about consumers here. Like, if you want to impress other producers, that's one thing. But if you want to impress consumers, like people who are going to listen to your stuff, you're going to have to invest in looking the part. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely think you don't have to go out and buy $1,000 camera. Honestly, like most smartphones now,
Yes.
high, like professional quality
Professional.
video. Yeah, like
Get your
they shoot
iPhone.
better video than professional cameras 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Phones do.
for sure.
Yo, say everything you're
Hmm.
saying reminds me of something I heard. I don't know who said it. I heard it a long time ago. Maybe it's real interesting because it relates to what you're saying. But it was, if your song does not have a music video, then it doesn't exist. Pretty much. I don't know who said that, but that's what I'm hearing with everything you're saying and the
Hmm.
value of
It's
having
not. It's not that it doesn't
quality.
exist. It's just
Well,
you have to think. You have to think about how people are consuming things, bro. We all got these devices up to our face, and we're scrolling through looking for something that looks dope.
yeah.
He's kind of right in a way though, because like you wouldn't hear like some of the classics that because I'm a Drake fan. You wouldn't hear some of the classic like songs
Well,
that Drake has unless you've seen like his like some of his videos.
Hmm.
So people
Hmm.
usually see the videos and then it draws them to the rest of the album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
definitely, I think it was an exaggerated phrase in order to illustrate the difference between something that does have a good visual versus something that doesn't. It's
Hmm.
gonna perform a lot better. More people are gonna see it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
because then you don't just I mean, you're gonna have an audio version of a song, and then you're gonna have like a music video version. So you already
Right.
doubled up there, but having that extra, I think that's just what I'm hearing. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
valuable information.
I agree with the camera and all that stuff because if you don't have a good camera, then you end up looking like me a couple years ago, looking like Wesley Snipes' little brother and stuff. You know, like having a good quality camera has actually brought out some of my
Hmm.
good features. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
and
on the
lighting.
camera.
Lighting is
Yeah,
huge, especially for dark
I'm
skinned
saying,
brothers like yourself. You got to stay
I'm
on top of
telling
the
you,
lighting,
you'll
yo.
be out here, you be out here looking like Michael Blackston. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, bro.
Yeah,
It
man.
helped me a lot. I've been working hard on like upgrading that too and just trying to
Hmm.
make like the streams and everything look better. But yeah, man, it's tough out here for dark skinned people.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Your
y'all
presentation looks great though, bro, and that's the thing, man. Presentation goes a long way. And even in music, and I just implore all of you who are kind of looking for your next acquisition, your next thing to buy. I even tell my YouTube homies, you know what I mean? Like my homie CMP was talking about, what's some stuff he can buy as write offs at the end of the year, and I was like, yo, bro, cameras are great write offs. He was like, you know
yeah.
what, Sight? That's a great idea. And his videos this year look like, bro, he's taking it way up, man. So it's really it's exciting to me because it sounds funny, like people call me Sight before I got into video, but it kind of fit my personality so well, you know what I'm saying? Because like the visuals are so important to me, to the point where I took 5 years off music to just focus on that as my career. And that part, I can honestly say, is responsible for so much of my success as of late. Like the things that have gone well have been because I put the time in, even to my visuals. And when I'm having a slump in sales, it's because I haven't done any videos. It's because I haven't made any social media posts. Yo, it matters, yo. As far as getting traction for what you do and your music creation, the visuals are just like, I would say you should invest at least 50% of whatever your budget is into creating visuals. Like whether it's a camera, whether it's a better phone. A phone is a great investment because if you get like one of those iPhones that have like the really good cameras, you're getting two things in one. You're getting something that you can create videos on. Like you can actually film, edit, and upload all from that device. So that's kind of like a great all-in-one. But yeah, man, definitely, I would implore y'all to invest heavily into your visual presence, because it's really, chances are your music is fine. Chances are it's not the quality of your music. It's not the reason why you're not getting where you want to get. It's probably the quality of your visuals and the lack of frequency of your posts. You know what I'm saying? When you have a good quality camera and you're able to capture stuff that looks good, you're able to post more because you feel more confident about the visuals. So that's just my little soapbox on that.
So if you're gonna have gas, have the right gas.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
good
Some of
tip.
y'all been eating eggs out here. It's not gonna come out right. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be
I
the
don't know why
best
it took me
gas,
a
bro.
second.
No, just like invest in the right stuff, man. That's basically what he's saying. Like, and that's dope. That you know what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even think about like the camera and the visual stuff, but I just know for me, like the NPC has been like a huge part like of like my creating. You know, I probably wouldn't even be to this point if I didn't cop that first. You know what I'm saying? Because when I
Hmm.
got the Renaissance, I wasn't even really. I mean, I was thinking about YouTube, but we talked about that situation with like my with my ex and stuff like. So it wasn't like really in the cards for me to do YouTube because I was being
Hmm.
discouraged from doing it. But you know, like just having the NPC like just made me want to create a lot more. You
Yeah.
know. And you got a lot of people in the chat agreeing with you too, like as far as you know what I'm saying,
The
as far
visuals,
as the
right?
visuals. Yeah.
Hmm.
We should go in the chat, see what the people talking about.
So my wife is on my case talking about I can't take the trash out. I didn't make any money today.
uh
Yeah, I'm miserable when I don't make no money, man. Because I work for myself, so it's kind of like you can imagine going to work and it's like, oh, you're not getting paid today. That's what like your boss
Uh,
telling you that. That's what it feels like to me.
that's a make you want to do a fake tally on somebody. Finish them. You know what I'm saying?
MPC Live 2, best purchase I made for creating music. Yeah, I think that's a solid buy. I've done a couple videos about it. What else we got here? Mine is my sound card RME, and I think the RME stuff is like kind of high end, right? Like it's up there with like the Apollos and everything.
the,
And that's one thing I haven't invested in just yet, like
the
super high quality audio.
the Apollo is dope. I'm not gonna hold you up.
No, is that RME getting you more placements, or how has it been beneficial for you? I know it probably sounds great to you, but as far as like on a practical level, let us know how that's helped you, in your music career. Tommy the Collector, my MPC was huge, and then the 1010 Blue Box gave me a big bang for the money in.
Mm,
Oh, that's interesting.
the blue box, huh?
Blue Box. I don't think I heard of that one.
I
Matter of
think
fact,
I
let me
think
look it
it's
up real
paired.
quick.
Ain't it paired with like the black box? Ain't it like one of
yeah,
those?
it's the 1010 brand. I think it's like a digital mixer, is what it is.
Is it?
Versus
Okay.
the black box is like a sampler sequencer.
Yeah, I know you can connect them together and they make like a unit. You got like a couple different boxes that you can have. You have the black box, then you have the blue box, and then there might be a gray box. I can't remember. I know I make beats has the black box, I think, or he had the black box.
That's dope. So it's like a little 6 channel digital mixer interface kind of thing, and recorder for $500. That's kind of dope. I like that. I appreciate that, Tommy. Cress has said return on investment MPC one Boss Katana 100 W Harley Benton guitars cheap Roland JDXI Audio Technica ATM 63 had it for 35 years. Oh yeah, that's a great investment.
Mm.
But you got a husky list, man.
That's the thing though. Like the people don't understand that too. It's like don't replace it if it's not broken.
Right.
Don't fix what's not broken. Like my microphone that I have in my son is 10. He's about to be 10 this year. My microphone that I'm still using to record people with is older than him.
Mm.
Like I've had that microphone since he like before he was born, and I still have it. I like sometimes I take it off. I rub it down. Keep it fresh. I put
Uh-huh.
it back in this case.
Why
If
do you
you
make it
take it
sound like that, man? I rub it down.
because man, people have an intimate relationship with their studio, man. I know I do. Like when I come
Oh
in, my
man.
my studio is like my second girlfriend. That's why your
That's
women like when you go in the studio, man. That's why people
Hey, man.
girls be tripping, man, sometimes because it's
I'm,
like,
I'm
man, you
hoping you're
spend.
wiping that equipment down, man. You starting to make it sound real nasty.
But like for real, if you take care of your stuff, bro, it can last you forever, man. I had a pair. I donated or I gave a pair. I gave a lot of stuff that I had like extra because I did
Hmm.
have some extra stuff before. I gave it to my stepdaughter. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because she wanted to do music, and I just gave it to her. But like the speakers, like my Rockets, I got them from the pawn shop. I
So
got them
that
for
was a good ROI on those
yeah, it
because you
was
got them for the low.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they still work, and
Hmm.
they're still being used to this day. Like you don't have to have the latest and greatest stuff. If it works, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Lee
You know?
Scott Williams said, "Me, it was gaming on Twitch. I used that money to get my music stuff, and now they love that side." Yeah, so that's dope. That's a different approach. You know what I'm saying? Like using gaming to fund your music, and that's kind of something that's been happening on Twitch. Whereas like some of the main influencers on Twitch started getting into music licensing because a lot of those Twitch issues is like they were shutting people's channels down for having copyrighted music. So
Yeah.
music became like a whole economy in the Twitch space over the last year, which is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking and getting into that because I'm also like going to be transitioning some of my stuff. Like I want to do like a lot of the like when I mix songs or stuff like that, I want to do that stuff live on Twitch. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So I want to have like the tutorials and stuff like that. But like when I do, because like, sometimes I'll still like do sessions, where, paid sessions where people come in and I record them.
Hmm.
And I want to be able to capture some of that stuff live. And I think Twitch is a great place for live communities. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah. And then like you said with the copyright music, being able to finish beats and then like provide like, because what people don't understand is like if you lease that stuff out or whatever, if you make it so it's like I forgot how they do it, but you can still like rack up your streams on like Spotify or something that way.
Oh
Whatever. There's
yeah,
a,
yeah.
there's a certain
Hmm.
way. There's a certain way that you
You're talking
can,
about the Twitch thing.
that you can still
Yeah.
capture, or you can like, you know, like
They
there's a
can,
way that you, there's a,
they can
there's a way you can
stream.
run it up.
You make it
Like,
Creative Commons, I think, or something like that, where they can stream it on. They can put it on their stream and run the music, so you're getting credit for the stream on Spotify,
yeah,
but you're not going after them for using it in their video,
right.
as
You know
opposed
what
to
I'm
like
saying?
YouTube, where if you use something that a copyrighted piece of music, they're going to take your ad revenue and give you channel strikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a dope concept. I like how some of those guys worked it
And that's
out.
like it's like really a cheat code too, because like
Hmm.
you know, and like we was just talking about that. We was just talking about this, like the way that the new society is. It's like give stuff away for free, but like it's like something like you give it away for free, but at the same time you don't like. It's
Yeah, because
like
it's not really giving it away
it's
for free.
not
They're
it's
still
not
getting
like a
paid for the
yeah
streams. They're not nickel and diming everyone like
yeah
the big corporations would do it, where they're
yeah
like, oh, if you play this song on your stream, we're gonna take your stream down, and it's kind of like that doesn't I mean I get if you're a big corporation, you don't care, you're already making billions, but it that kind of greed by the major record labels created a whole economy within the Twitch atmosphere, which is really dope.
yeah.
So, but yeah, man, let's wrap it up. I know I got to get out of here. Anything else you guys wanted to mention as far as like Gearlust and I guess you could say what were we calling it?
Gas.
Gas. Yeah, that's what it was.
Your acquisition syndrome.
Any final thoughts? Any final Maury Povich thoughts?
You know I come in with those all the time.
Uh huh.
No, I don't know. I think we covered the best methods I've thought of for avoiding it. So just do your best to learn your gear, improve your own skills and knowledge as far as music making. If you're thinking about buying new gear, just
Hmm.
find another way. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
You know,
What about
just
you,
like
all?
all this stuff comes from the heart, man.
Yeah, these cryptic, man, these cryptic messages.
No, but for real though, it's like buy the stuff that fulfills you. You know, buy the stuff that's gonna help you on your journey. Don't buy stuff just to buy stuff or just because your favorite influencer or producer has it. Buy the stuff that completes you. Buy the stuff that completes your studio.
Hmm.
And don't go into debt doing it because it's not worth it. You know, we all want to do what we love. But we got to be smart about it, and we got to make sure that what I'm saying, we got that peace of mind. At the end of the day, when we do buy stuff, to keep it so we keep creating and doing the things that we love. So
Big facts.
more poets for you.
I would say, closing thoughts on it would be, you really can't go wrong when you're buying gear. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a reason you were inspired to buy it. I would say, before you pull the trigger and hit that buy button on something, try to make a clear plan on how to either, if you've got extra money and it's just like, it's no big deal to you, that's whatever. But if you're really kind of on the ropes and buying a piece of gear is going to set you back a little bit, think about, try to factor in how practical it's going to be. Like, is it going to give you a return on investment, whether it's not just money, but will it give you some time back? Like if you're spending, a MPC 2000 XL where you're spending, 15 minutes chopping a 30-second sample, investing in an MPC one or a live or something might be worth it because it's going to cut that down to 30 seconds. You'll be able to make 4 beats in the time that you normally would make one. So, it's practical in that respect. So try to think about it that way. Like, are you getting some money back? But more importantly, are you getting time back? Because the time, as we all talk about all the time, is the resource that our family wants, our audience wants. It's the thing that's limited. Like, we can't earn more time. So, definitely put a priority on your time and think about it this way. If you buy that piece of gear, are you going to have to work extra hours, like do some overtime at work? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, is it a vacation day that you're not going to be able to take because you like, oh, I got to pay this bill? Time is crucial, man. So try to only get things that are going to give you time back, or at least not take it away from you.
Yeah. Before we leave, too, just I wanna remind everybody that we appreciate you guys for supporting us and like stopping by in the comments and everything. We can't get to all the comments and all that. We're working on making that better. But we do appreciate you guys' support and stopping through, being here with us. Like I said in the beginning, if you guys weren't here, Sight has he has this volume 2 out for his standalone soul. You guys check that stuff out. Lifted Noise has merch. I Am Sight has merch. All that stuff will be in the description. So if you guys want to support us, if you guys are looking to support us, that's the way that you guys can do that. And we'll have those links in the description. And we thank you guys for everything that you do. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely. So, and the podcast is also on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So if you can't catch us on YouTube, you just want to kind of play it in the car, you can also look for us on those platforms. Usually they go up the next day. So like O said, definitely appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Lifted Noise, anything on you?
God bless.
Show them the gear, bro.
Yeah, this is a shirt I got.
United We Stand Alone.
That's right.
That's what I'm
just a
talking
little
about.
Something to represent the standalone beat makers.
And that's
Big
dope.
facts.
I don't got nothing yet. I'm slow, but this is a like I Am Sight's one of his shirts that you can get off the website. It's pretty dope. So
Appreciate it, bro. It's all gang, man.
We got some sick stuff out here, But if you guys were looking to support the podcast or support us guys, what I'm saying, check us out and subscribe to our individual channels. Those will be in the link too. If you guys want to see what our individual channels are about. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with us already, but if you're new here, check us out.
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you. So.
All right, y'all. Catch you on the next one. We out. Peace.